Look, there is no longer left and right. I mean, policy-wise there is, but not in this next election. Your choice in 2024 is whether you embrace the principles of our Constitution for everyone or not. And this is bigger than Trump, folks. Okay? Since the indictment, I've had tons of conversation with people I love, hate, respect, don't respect. And let me lay it out. And you see what group you fall into, okay? First, the group libs, okay? Most of you are probably beyond saving, but I'm happy to have you on. I'm happy to have these discussions because I actually believe in free speech, unlike many of you. This was perfectly summed up in a recent Princeton University poll showing 76% of college students believe it's perfectly fine to shout down speakers they don't agree with. I guess they're not teaching that First Amendment thing anymore in colleges. But this is my point. These $200,000 in debt future baristas and marketing executives for Bud Light and Target love free speech for themselves, but not for you and I. Many are even willing to shout you down and even use violence sometimes to silence you. I'm trying to think, there's a word for that. I'm trying to remember. Oh yes, it's fascism. Here, going above government to forcibly suppress our opposition. Wow. Now, these youngsters that are coming out of college right now that shout down speakers are just a few years behind the people who've grown up and have now become part of a system that is prosecuting Donald Trump for the crime of challenging their power. So as I said earlier, you're probably beyond help. The next group, people who like Trump's economy but hate the man personally. Now, I would say this is probably actually most people in my family. Forgive me, I live in Connecticut, I'm sorry. But Trump is probably going to be the Republican nominee. And he's all but guaranteed it. And I say this with all due respect, folks. If he does win the primary, you got to get over it. Look, I come from a place where we're willing to die in defense of our country's principles. Did I personally like all the generals or admirals or even my commander-in-chief when it was Obama? Absolutely not. But it was about the mission. I followed the orders. You're going to tell me that you're going to sit this one out because you think, I don't know, Trump is rude or whatever chaps you about him day to day? But you fail to recognize that Biden has already declared he is doing whatever he can to keep Trump out of the race, let alone the White House.
We just have to demonstrate that he will not take power if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
Oh, you're willing to sit out an election so Biden's oppressive, ever-growing administrative state can take your kids, take your guns, tax you to oblivion, and torch the Constitution? I'm sorry, but if you think that, your priorities are a little mixed up. Look, it was almost anyone else on the Republican ticket somehow became the nominee. If they did, you better believe I'd be fighting for them with the same war paint. Because it's not about my feelings. It's about whether my kids get to grow up in the same country I got to. This third group is the Trump warriors. This is the bunch of people who see Donald J. Trump as the last stand between them and government. They love this fight, and honestly, we could care less who he slept with. A vote or a sticker on your car, a sign in your lawn, a flag, whatever. This is this group's way of sticking it to the system and saying, no, I've had enough, and I want the crazy to stop. But the crazy thing is, the more the deep state pushes on Trump, the more this group doubles down. We're willing to overlook much of the things that President Trump has done in his personal life that aren't great because the country was better off as a whole. And I like that he owns the libs. And lastly, the people that sway elections. This is very important. I want the RNC to listen to this. Those who want to just be left alone. People who are too busy making ends meet to even bother to turn on the news. People who want to raise their kids, they want to live their lives, maybe be able to afford or squeak out a vacation once a year. This body has been ignited now because the left has pushed and pushed and pushed, especially on our children. The more and more people are putting their MAGA war paint on because of this prosecution against Trump. He's not losing support from it. He's gaining. Look at literally every poll is showing this. This group was underestimated in 2016 by Hillary Clinton. I think they were drastically taken for granted in 2020, especially by the RNC. But man, they are energized now. You see, anytime Donald Trump makes a stop at a random restaurant or wherever, you see this. They love him there. And 2024 is about freedom versus tyranny. Vote for whoever you want in this primary, okay? I really don't care. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. I think Trump is likely to win. And if you didn't vote for him come general election, that's okay. The side of freedom welcomes you with open arms. Because realistically, you got two sides to choose from. There's no sitting this one out. Because the next person this big government machine might go after is you, your kids, maybe even your way of life.